Of the more than $100 million and counting that the government owes to the various companies waging fights in the US over arbitral awards handed down in London, Lord Michael Ashcroft told our Marlene Cuellar this week that he has a financial interest in only 2 of them, but there are many others.
I am not a shareholder in that. The principal shareholders are the Hayward Charitable Trust and the Employees Trust of BTL. The Carlyle one is in which I do have a financial interest through my shareholding in Carlyle, but that is a public company that has a few thousand shareholders within it. The other one, the Genesis, is the UHS one, which is a bank deal from the Belize Bank, which I clearly have an interest in.
As for the separate awards themselves, BSDL, essentially the former shareholders of BTL, are weighing their next options, but Ashcroft made clear that the reserves are not under attack.
I have no personal interest in the share capital of BSDL. The shareholders of BSDL are the original shareholders of Telemedia. So that is the Hayward Charitable Trust, and then the Employees Trust are the owners of that arbitration award.
What are your options for the judgment to be enforced?
Well, that's for BSDL to decide how they're going to take it forward. But there was a bit of an overreaction by the government of Belize in terms of talking about attacking Belize's reserves. The law in the United States makes it quite clear that you cannot go after a sovereign nation's foreign currency reserves. So I think that rhetoric was to get the crowd a little bit uptight, as if somebody was going after the trade of the whole of Belize, bringing economic collapse and all the rest of it.
The BCB Holdings Caribbean Investment Holdings Limited award is similarly tied to the BSDL award and to the BTL settlement.
It's important to understand that this was a settlement agreement in which Carlyle agreed to waive certain claims that it had on the government and release it from some of the warranties that were given by the government, and in return were given certain tax concessions. And that was then challenged by the government and went right the way up to the Caribbean Court of Justice. But one of the clauses within that settlement agreement was that the government of Belize would take all necessary steps to effect that agreement. And what the Caribbean Court of Justice said is that the government failed to put it through to the House of Representatives. And on that particular basis, they couldn't enforce it. So because it's a London award, Carlyle does have the option of enforcing it in any jurisdiction.
So you would be willing to settle?
I have always said that on all these cases, there's always a willingness to find a settlement. And I'm a great believer in compromise, and I'm a great believer in the old Chinese expression that you always give the other person face. In other words, you don't try to humiliate one side or the other.
For companies and corporations that have waited many years, that wait goes on. Aaron Humes reporting for News 5.